Okay, so this is your second option to write Python programs for our class, and this is a great option because it's online, you don't have to install anything, and this is always available to you as long as you have an internet connection. So if you're on campus working on one of the open lab computers, or maybe you're at a relative's house visiting and you need to write a program, who knows? So you can just use this anytime, anywhere. And also, you know, if you're a Mac user, you don't have to worry about compatibility or anything like that. You just go to OnlineGDB.com and you're not quite good to go, but almost. Here's the thing, OnlineGDB is going to get you started with a C++ program, and that's not us. So you have to make sure that you select, up here in the upper right corner, select Python 3. Okay, so now this is us, Python program. You do, if you want to save a so let's say this was a homework program and I wanted to save it, I would have to be logged in. You know what, it's not prompting me to log in because I already logged in with my Google account, and you can log in with a Google account. If you don't have one, you can make one up. It doesn't have to be your real name. Just make up some kind of account, or you know, you can use your regular Google account if you have one. In order to be able to save your project. So I would say I'm going to use underscores here, my first Python prog. Okay, I'm going to save that. And if I wanted to download this as a homework assignment, for example, or a test, there's a download button on the front end here. I'll show you what happens there. Okay, so it's coming down. This is one thing I don't like about this tool, is that it doesn't come down with the name that you name the project as. It's going to come down as main.py. Okay, and it's going to go to your default download location. This one happens to be my desktop. For you, it might be the downloads folder or something if you haven't changed that. So here's how the file came down as main.py. And you know, I don't care about names. You don't have to rename it if you're going to submit it as homework. But you know what? If all of them are coming down as main.py, you have to be careful. You're going to get them mixed up and maybe submit the wrong thing. So maybe get in the habit of giving them nice, meaningful names just so they're not all called main.py. Okay, and then let's see what else here. Okay. So let me just show you something. So if you can go into your project, so eventually we'll have many, many files building up here in your projects window. I'm going to have a ton of files because I use this for multiple classes. But the most recent that you saved is always going to be at the very bottom. So that's the one that I saved here. Okay, you remember me naming it that. And so there's also a download button on the back end. So you remember there was this button on the front end, this one, okay, but there's also this other one on the back end, and I'll click that just to see what we get here. I'm going to download that code. Okay, so now look at this. This is subtle, but it's important. This is coming down as a zip file. Okay, it's coming down as a compressed file, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But, okay, so I'm going to download that. And there it is. Okay. As I said, I don't have a problem with you. If this was a finished program and you know this is what you're ready to submit, you just plop that in Canvas and I'll unzip it from my end and be able to run your code and grade it. But, you know, the zip file, if you wanted to run it yourself here, you would have to unzip that if you wanted to get at that code file, or, you know, make a change to it or execute the file or something. So just be mindful of that. There's a subtle difference. If you're downloading from the front end versus the back end, you're going to get the py file from the front end and the zip file from the back end. But that's the only kind of quirk about this tool, this OnlineGDB, for the most part. I just like the convenience of not having to install anything, being able to work from anywhere. So that's why I tend to use this, and I'm loosely recommending this over idle for our class, just because of, you know, the convenience that I mentioned. But again, you have choices. Oh, and those aren't the only two choices. I mean, there are tons and tons of Python tools. If you already have done some programming in Python and you already have your favorite tool, that's fine. Use it. I don't care. All I care about is your code, and, you know, really you can write that with any tool, and just get me that PY file, or the PY file zipped up as a zip file. That's all I'll ever want from you.